Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy Monday.
Yeah. The Monday after Christmas, back into a somewhat of a short work week, with New Year's coming later this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how much work I'm going to do this week. I usually would take this week entirely off. It's like one of my happy times, be with the family, just do nothing for days between Christmas and New Year's and just veg and hang out. But nobody's here.
Right. It's a little different this year, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't feel quite as luxurious or fun. So my mom was like, "Are you going to do work this week?" And I was like, "I think so, because otherwise, what else am I going to do?"
Right.
But at the same time, I do want to do it, have it be kind of restful, and that's still sort of valuable. So I think I'm going to do kind of the fun work, ideally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're doing a retreat next week, just the co-founders and I, and to do planning for next year. And so I want to spend some time doing reflection and coming up with my things that I would like to do next year.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do on holiday time this year because it's so different to begin with. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll just kind of take advantage of the time where everyone else is kind of off and slip in some work. I kind of like stealing away sometimes and getting work done when I know everyone else is taking time off, but I also know that there's a lot of value in allowing oneself to take time off and decompress and, come back reinvigorated. So I managed to get some of that in for sure. I didn't touch code for the last 4 days, which felt good. I felt like I got to a good stopping point on some various things that I was wrapping up. And then I do kind of have a list of stuff I need to get done. I'll talk about it more in this episode, but some things that we're planning for some marketing pushes in the beginning of the year. And so I have some tasks ahead to get done before that. So
cool.
At least tackle those this week,
Yeah. I'm hoping to focus on kind of the slightly more fun stuff. It's work and it's useful, but it's kind of interesting things or stimulating things.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, because we are still looking for a product designer, I've been doing more and more product management stuff. And just because we have these things we want to ship, and so someone has to think about them. And so Joel and I did a session, and we did that sort of clipboard stuff we discussed last week and wrote up a design doc, and that was really satisfying. And I'm doing another one now. I've been talking to customers about what do you do when one person has a 49-inch widescreen monitor and the other person is on a 13-inch MacBook Air.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah. So we're going to try to solve that problem. But it's been really fun to I talked with a couple of customers last week. We chatted about this problem, but also about Tuple in general and what they're doing. And it was just really, it was so gratifying and fun. I used to talk to customers more, especially in the early days. People say really nice things, and it's nice to get the feedback, positive and negative. And I felt it very invigorating.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fulfilling work. That's fun. I especially love it when you can talk to a customer and you know that your product is already doing a really good job for them, but if they do have something that they want improved and you know that you're not that far off from it, that's when it's really gratifying, when it feels like you've already been moving in the right direction. They're like, you know what, if you could just do this one thing, that'd be amazing. And if you're like, oh, that's actually feasible that I could do that in the near term.
Totally.
It feels so good,
Yeah, it's exciting. And then I have this thing we've discussed in the past, which is I tend to get a little bit focused on our shortcomings, but people perceive the product as a whole better than I do, I guess. And so they're like, oh, I love this and this and this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've taken all that for granted. And so it kind of gives me a slightly better perspective on where we're at and what we're doing well and not well, and gives me a more balanced view, I think.
Yep.
So that's oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. I feel good now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's been fun. I want to do more of that, actually.
So when you do end up finding this this kind of product leader, product manager type person, do you feel like you'll be handing over most of that responsibility, or will you be pretty involved with that person, at least for a while, on shaping features and figuring stuff out? Do you feel like it's going to be really collaborative with you involved in that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really want to give it up fully, and I think I have a lot to add there. So I think we'll probably work pretty closely together. My ideal is basically that we've written down and decided that it is someone's job to be responsible for this thing, but I intend to contribute to that thing too.
Yeah. That's kind of how my dynamic feels with Corey right now on marketing stuff, and like it's still a major help. He's doing, so many things that would take me hours to do, and he's doing a lot of the things better than I would do. But it's fun to like have input on parts that, it's like, oh, I feel like I have a good sense of what should go right here on this piece of the website. And, a lot of times he's like, oh, that's great. And so like, I feel like I can still contribute, but it's this kind of healthy, like working together kind of dynamic that feels really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're glad you did that.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
on.
Very much so. Yeah.
I have this thing where it's like, I feel like it's, when you're doing, so like we have slightly different markets, I think, but like marketing for developers to me feels like it's kind of a special skill where it's like, yeah, it is marketing in the sense that it's still, you're still trying to get yourself in front of people, but it feels like there's like a little bit more natural resistance to it. You have to be like a little bit more savvy about it, perhaps. And so like I have not quite a mental block, but I have this, or like I guess I just have this like higher bar in my head for like, if we were going to hire a marketing person, I almost would like want them to be a developer, I think, themselves, or like a maybe like dev evangelist is kind of the right thing, or like maybe marketing for us is like making content for programmers. I feel like it's kind of the gist of it.
I think that's a good realization. Like, I don't know. I think most companies that are really good at marketing, like this is a very common example, but like Basecamp, right? Like they claim to never actually do marketing in the traditional sense of what a lot of us think of as marketing, and yet they're master marketers, like in the way that they put things out in the world and generate interest in the things that they're working on. And so that's like been something I've been trying to remind myself, like, yeah, there's the playbooks that we all hear about, know about. There's content marketing, there's SEO, there's these things that fit into these nice little buckets of like best practices type of stuff. But then there's the things that are just like totally unique, and you wouldn't even necessarily realize it's marketing, but it's achieving the same goal as traditional marketing, but it just, speaks well to your particular market. There's so much noise in the traditional, quote unquote, traditional channels. Like I definitely don't want to get on a content production treadmill, for example, and just like be putting out 3 blog posts a week and expect that to necessarily work. It's like, I feel like
Totally. Right.
So,
or like we should just host webinars once a month.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you and 5,000 other companies, So
we'll see. So I have some results to share on the annual offer that we did.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we basically sent out an email saying, hey, if you want, you can upgrade to an annual plan. We'll give you 2 months free, charge you for 10 months, that kind of thing. And like basically a one-click button to do it. The conversion rate for us was about 4% so far, which is actually a touch lower than I was expecting. Tuple is like kind of expensive, so it's, we are talking like hundreds or thousands of dollars. So it's still like meaningful. You can still see it in the revenue chart. It was like we had a couple good days. It was like, ooh, wow, that's kind of a nice number. But uptake was not super high, although it is kind of still trickling in. So I'm not sure where it'll end up finally. And we only did send one email, and it also is not quite the end of the year yet. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more coming in. But honestly, in terms of like how much work it took, and the fact that, which was not very much, we were pointed towards this like seemingly new-ish, beta-ish, not fully supported Stripe feature, which is letting us do quarterly true-ups, by the way. There's like this like invoice frequency thing. I forget the exact name, but there's like basically a setting you can put on subscriptions and say like, okay, every 3 months, charge for any pending invoice items that are out there. You can tell it's kind of new or like not super widely used because like you can't see it that this setting is set on like the dashboard in the web UI and things. So it's not like super widely, it doesn't seem like super well supported yet. But anyway, it does what we want it to do. And so we kind of figured out a way around the like, well, if you move to annual and then you add people throughout the year, when do we bill you for those people?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like quarterly is just in reality, like a best practice or something you've encountered when talking to people? Like, is that, where did that cadence come from, I guess?
So I wanted to true up during the year, so we didn't have to wait a whole year to bill you for the people that you added. And I wanted to not do it monthly because part of the value, I think, is having fewer invoices to deal with. And quarterly felt about right. And I ran it by a few people who said they were interested in annual billing, and people were said, yeah, that seems okay. It may be that that's not quite the right frequency. and that like maybe our uptake would be higher if we had a different one. But no one pushed back and was like, "Oh, I'd rather do it this often." So seems good enough.
Yeah. I've been thinking about what mine is going to be. So far, I haven't had expansion on any of my annual plans yet. So I'm kind of kicking the can down the road a little bit. But I was thinking, I mean, mine is a little bit lower price point than Tuple. And at least right now, teams are tending to be like, okay, I'm just the one founder, and then I invited my co-founder to start using it. So like it's not like huge swings. So I'm thinking I might do monthly at this point, like within 30 days of any changes, and assuming that things remain mostly flat on expansion throughout the year. You know, once a team decides to onboard their team, then assuming that they're not growing a ton all the time, then they should still not have many invoices throughout the year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that is nice. It's kind of clean. You have like less hanging around, I guess.
Yeah.
You're kind of trued up frequently.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm curious how the quarterly will feel as we do it.
Mm-hmm. And I guess it depends on how your metrics are tracked. Like that'll still count towards your MRR. So if you're like tracking, you know, those kind of SaaS metrics, like it'll be booked there, I'm assuming, but it just
I have no idea.
It'll be delayed. Yeah, that's such a tricky thing, right? I saw you talking about this, like the difference between their metrics and Stripe's metrics, and pretty interesting how there's not like a one true right answer, I guess. Although I would think that Stripe would have the best answer because they're in the business of running this billing engine for people, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think reasonable people can disagree about how to calculate various things.
Yeah. Like what to do about discounts and what to do about,
right?
Like that's the big difference, right? Is how coupons and discounts are.
That's a big thing. Yeah, exactly. Any non-forever coupons in Stripe are basically ignored in calculating your MRR because they think of MRR as like a forward-looking metric. So it's like going forward, someday that will be full revenue is kind of, I guess, the logic there. That choice actually feels the least correct to me of how they calculate MRR. Like it doesn't match my mental model. It's a defensible position, I guess, you know. Like with this thing we're doing, like with these quarterly true-ups, it's like, okay, we know we're going to bill for this thing in 3 months. Do we bump the MRR now? Do we bump it when you charge for it? It's tricky.
Yeah. It's tricky even calling like an annual subscription part of monthly recurring because it's on a different loop now. And similarly, a lot of people like to talk about their ARR when they just have MRR, and it's like, well, MRR is not annual recurring either. So
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's sort of like this, there's a divide between like, there's this sort of like notional monthly recurring revenue number that you can sort of put together. It doesn't match what your net revenue is going to be in a month though, for a bunch of reasons. And so I think that's kind of where Stripe is like, okay, well, like, yes, if you have a discount on a thing, the net revenue is not the same as the MRR, but that's already true. MRR is already this kind of sort of fictional-ish.
It's an accounting type of metric. You know, a lot of things in accounting don't fully align either if you start taking into account like payables, receivables, like assets, depreciation. Like it feels kind of in that vein where like, well, what is depreciation in the accounting sense? Well, it's like a technical way to shift around how assets degrade over time or whatever, but like it doesn't actually relate to the money in the bank, you know? So,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how we'll see how the various metrics providers we use account for this.
Well, I like Profitwell because they always show me a higher MRR number than Stripe does. I think it's because I think they keep, which this is probably actually not. It's probably slightly inflated. I think what they do when someone cancels, the MRR stays in your MRR count until the actual churn happens. So if they're active towards end of period, it stays in the number until that officially cancels. And I think Stripe removes it right away.
Mm-hmm.
So
that would make sense.
You know, so if at any given time I have like 2 customers churning that will churn in the next 30 days, they stay in my MRR number in Profitwell, but not in Stripe. So
yes. Well, the correct number is definitely whichever is higher.
Yeah, that's what I go with, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Whoever gives me the best news is my preferred provider.
Yes.
So the other day I tweeted about asking if people would be interested in a paid support group to develop a habit of like 10 minutes of meditation a day and 10 minutes of mobility work in the evenings. And I got a bunch of DMs from that message. And I started responding and talking to people. And was kind of doing like a little bit of customer development and like plotting out how I would do this and all this. And like, I like stopped. I basically was like doing a little side hustle thing for fun. And then I like sort of stopped and was like, okay, if I get this many people at like what I think sounds like a reasonable price point, that's going to be this many dollars. And then I'm like committed for the month to do this thing. And I was like, I don't know if this is worth it. And I'm in sort of this weird position, and it's a great position. And like, I'm just going to say this, even though it's like sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's like Tuple is doing really well. And so it's harder for me to get excited about other little things. I'm sensitive to this idea sounding like overly privileged or something, but it's like I do have this conflict where I have this tendency where like I like to do new things. I also like learn from starting side projects, and like a lot of the knowledge that I have for Tuple is because of the other things I've started. So I kind of want to continue that habit because it's like an experiment, like it's like a testing ground. I can try new things and I can test new things, but at the same time, I sort of like the entrepreneur person in me or something, or the money person in me is like, well, like what's the potential revenue here? And then it's like, okay, it's sort of not interesting from that perspective.
Well, so my question is, I totally understand, that feeling, and I wonder if it would be possible for you to put a different success metric on it than revenue. Would that trick your brain into thinking of it as like, this is not, if I compare this to Tuple, it's going to always lose in my mind and feel like, not that interesting. But I mean, there's other benefits to that. You're building, helping other people, building community, whatever other intangibles you're getting out of it. So can you put some KPIs on that to motivate your.
So I had that same thought, which is like, okay, if it's maybe don't do it for the revenue. And so it's like, okay, well, do I want to do it for free? Like, would that help kind of mentally? Like if I was just like, because, so here's how it started. I was like, I wish I were meditating and mobilizing every day. I should get a support group going. Oh, that could be a fun business. Oh, what would that look like? And then I kind of went down the like, how do you turn this into a paid product? Because, that's what I do. But then I was like, okay, well, I don't think if the revenue's not interesting, but maybe I still want to do this thing, what does it look like? And it's like, okay, well, maybe I charge for it anyway, but that's not actually the point. Maybe that's just there to like make sure people are serious. But then I've sort of committed to like providing a certain level of service to people. And like what I really want is for me to meditate and stretch every day.
And instead you've created yourself another little small business where you have
part-time
responsibilities.
Yeah. Where I make sure that other people meditate and stretch every day.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's not actually what I wanted. The point I ended up on, it was like this just question mark, was just this question in my head that I still don't have an answer to, but I feel like it's kind of interesting, which is like, how do you buy a new habit? Like, why can't I put dollars into something and like apt-get install, brew install, meditate every day and like make that happen? And I think there's ways to like piecemeal these. Like, I think this is like, there's probably answers for like any given thing. I'm sure this is like some like fun VC-backed startup thing of like, we're going to teach everyone to do habits and like install them in people's brains and whatnot. Anyway, so yeah, this is all not fully formed, but this is a thing that I've been thinking about.
Mm-hmm. That just got me thinking, you're talking about brains, as we often do. Have you caught the Jerry Seinfeld, Tim Ferriss podcast episode? I think it dropped just recently.
Not yet. It's on my list though.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people recommend it, and I listened to it yesterday. And I mean, Jerry Seinfeld's just like a very process-oriented person, executor of his craft, which I've known this for a while, like just from hearing other interviews and stuff. It's a fun listen because I didn't realize quite how systematized he was. And one of his theories is that like there's a difference between the mind and the brain. The brain is a really dumb thing. It's like training a dog. It's like this stupid thing. You give it the right incentives and it does what you want it to do. And the mind, of course, is a different concept. It's the, what makes humans, and we have all this like wisdom and reflection and all the higher order thinking. But brains themselves, he's like, don't confuse the mind and the brain. The brain is a really dumb, trainable thing. And so, which is effectively what you're trying to do right now. You're like trying to if you can just convince your brain to do something, build a habit, then it benefits the mind. But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So I don't know, like part of me still wants to kind of do some sort of thing. And it was interesting to see how many people wanted this based off of like one quick tweet got a lot of like interest. So I think other people want this thing.
Maybe someone else should shepherd it and you should just be a part of it.
So so that was another thing I thought is like, so I have a CEO crush on Andrew Wilkinson, who runs Tiny Capital.
Yeah.
And like they own like Dribble, like I think they own like 30 different businesses or something. And he's kind of like a pretty extreme delegator example where he'll be like, get a thing go and hire a CEO. And I was like, what if I did that? Like, what if instead of looking at this and saying, I don't really have time, I should focus on my main thing, I instead say, this is a need. I'm going to get it rolling, figure out the things, and then bring in somebody to run it. And I was like, that sounds interesting. That's like, because that'd be a very new way for me to think about a thing. And talking of like practicing stuff for Tuple, this is kind of the stage where I'm now in, I think, at Tuple as well, which is like get a thing going, bring in someone to run it, scale it up. So that might be like the right kind of practice that like really gives me like kind of quick knowledge that I can bring back to my main thing.
And what about practicing on something small like this? Is it just easier because it's simpler, there's less moving parts than actually just trying to proactively delegate at Tuple itself,
I mean, everything's easier when it's small, I guess, or like everything feels easier, I should say. Because this is like an idea the idea phase, it still feels like everything's simple and I don't see the hard parts, and clearly everything will work and it'll be great. But yes, I'm good at fooling myself that way.
Right. In reality, I could see you, wasting, 40 hours of valuable time in January trying to figure out how to like install somebody to run this thing. And you might look back and be like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Using my time in this way.
Yeah, maybe. Right. And really, I just wanted to meditate this morning. So
this could be the ultimate over-engineering of just trying to develop a new habit.
Yes, exactly. Maybe I just need to like reread Atomic Habits and then do that and like focus on my main business. I go back and forth. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's no problem with having, and I think that like hobbies, side projects, those types of things are valuable because you can't be working on your main thing all the time. Like you do need time away from it. And if it happens to be a revenue generating entity, I think that's fine as long as you can trick yourself into still feeling good about it and not just comparing it to your main thing, right?
Right. Exactly. But also like, I don't want other people to think I don't care about the main thing.
Right.
Yeah. Like that's another thing. Mm-hmm. Perception, I guess. Tricky. Anyway, what's going on with you? Anything on your mind?
Yeah. So something I do want to talk about. So we're planning to do a product hunt launch. I haven't officially launched SavvyCal on Product Hunt. So it's been kind of on the list for a while to just like, it's something that I should definitely do. I don't have like super high expectations that it's going to drive a lot of like very, high converting traffic, but it should send a nice bump in awareness in the community. And it feels like the time is good for this because the product is a bit more mature than when I initially launched, and we have some good competitor comparison pages so people can get a good sense of how it differs from other offerings on the market. I anticipated that being like a big common question of like, well, how is this different than Calendly? So I feel like we have a really good answer to that now, and the product is really kind of coming into its own and has its own identity as like this kind of power user scheduling tool. And so planning to do that on January 7th. But one thing that I've been wanting to revisit for a while is the scarcity aspect of usernames. And this is something that I was able to build a good launch list for Level with this too, like reserve your username because it is a scarce resource. Something that we're planning to do this week. It's like kind of a weird week because New Year's is end of the week. And so I don't know, some people are still off of work, but planning to do like a little marketing push to just encourage folks to go ahead and like secure your username on SavvyCal before we do this kind of big product hunt launch and, potentially get hundreds of new signups. So I wanted to announce that here, for podcast listeners, if you haven't gotten your SavvyCal account yet, like you can create a free account, and I think we'll put some kind of like minimum guarantee of like at least 60 days, your username will be reserved. I don't want to promise that people will be allowed to squat on usernames in perpetuity, but for at least a while. So you can just create your free account and get in the ecosystem.
And this is a real risk, by the way, because I didn't sign up for SavvyCal early enough, and I did not get /Ben.
Yeah. You know what happened on that too? So I screwed this up now twice because that on level, like someone else reserved Ben before you. So I had set it aside, but stupid me, I like had it in an array somewhere in like this list of like usernames that people can't reserve. And what I didn't do is check, like when checking people's input against that list, I didn't like normalize casing. So someone like signed up with the capital B Ben, and it was like not precisely in that array. And so they were allowed to use it.
Wow. All right. So first of all, I'm honored that I was in your array.
Yes, you were in my array.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
I'm horrified that someone would ask for a URL with a capital B in it. And I feel like that alone should disqualify this person from being able to have it.
Yeah. I'm guessing what happened is they attempted lowercase b because they're not a psychopath. And then it like
you.
And then they're like, well, let's just try. Let's see if they're case sensitive. And I'm sure they were like concerned when capital B worked, as they should have been. Probably.
You got, what do they call that? Like input something? You got hacked.
Yeah.
You hacked the mainframe.
I know.
Amazing. All right. Well, is this person still paying, by the way?
I believe so, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see who churns first. Other Ben, capital B, psychopath.
Sounds good. Yeah. I'll as soon as if it becomes available, I'll let you know. Yeah.
I'm using capital B. I feel like when I upgraded to annual, I should have been able to push
steal?
him out of that. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
You should send it like generate a hey, someone has offered to upgrade to annual, and we'll be pushing you off this domain name unless you upgrade as well.
Just set up like a little like bidding, like a little trading forum. Like
that's right.
Oh, you've been outbid. Sorry.
Yeah. Why aren't there more auctions in the world?
Yeah. So, anyway, reserve your username. Before Product Hunt. That's the message here. Don't be lowercase b Ben, and get your names. Oh, I want to report on my annual. I did an annual push similar to you, and Corey had this idea. I was going to code up like on the billing page a one-click upgrade to annual button, and so I was originally like, oh, that shouldn't be too hard, but it was going to be like a couple hours of work, and so being scrappy, we decided to instead just say like, if you want to upgrade, just hit reply and let me know, and I'll do it for you. And I think that actually like. That's even more convenient than having someone click through to an interface in some sense. Like it's like, oh, all you have to, you're right there in the context of your inbox, so just reply and you don't even have to do anything.
Yeah. So we were going to do that as well, and then the reason we decided to, so we had two reasons for doing it. One was having built that page, we can now send people to it in the future, which is nice. And then also, I really wanted people to know how much they were going to get charged, like before they said, I'm interested. Because that's always that's of course your first question, right? And we have like a bunch of users with like different numbers of users, like teams vary in size a lot. So we wanted to be able to give, and like also you might have random discounts applied to your subscription already if you are a part of a certain cohort or something. So yeah, we built it out.
Yeah, I think I benefited from the fact that like most people are single player mode on SavvyCal right now, and a lot fewer. Just fewer customers in general, so things are simpler to deal with. And I figured even if there were questions like that, at most I'd be fielding, a couple hundred questions instead of like 1,000 questions or something. So
yeah. And I respect the simplicity of what you did there. I think that was legit. Smart.
Yep. So yeah, it converted pretty well. I mean, this is not. I wouldn't expect this in going into the future as customer base grows, but like we were able to convert 20% of customers over to annual.
20%. Nice.
Yeah.
Bro, I told you.
Yeah, I know. You did. And it's funny, it's hilarious. Like legitimately, I think 4 people emailed back and said, glad to hear you're listening to Ben's advice.
Oh, that's great.
That was, I was like, yeah.
Cool. Nice. All right. Well, I'll take my standard cut.
Yeah. Let's see. More metrics reporting. Trials. So I have about a month of trial data now. And so far, we're converting at like a 75% rate.
That's absurd.
It's credit card on file. Again,
Still absurd.
Yeah, this will probably go down over time as trial volume increases, but very, very pleased with that. It almost makes me wonder, when it's that high, like this indicates that most people, a majority of people signing up for a trial intended to convert anyways, and so was a trial even necessary? But I don't know how to really like scientifically test this well, like
Yeah.
that feels like
you
a
didn't have
hard
it
thing.
before. You didn't have a trial, right?
Right.
You just had to pay to get.
You have to pay right away in order to activate. Like you could still sign up for free, but to activate a link, it was pay right away. And now you can kick off a 7-day trial, credit card on file. So, I mean, it's like so many things are changing all the time. Like the marketing's continuing to evolve. We're getting, more opening up different traffic channels. So it's like all these variables have changed. And so even if I like took the trial away in January and tested it, like a bunch of the variables have changed. So I don't really know how to tell whether it's,
I don't know. I wouldn't worry about it. Like it feels like if it were like a month-long trial and you were like deferring revenue for a long time, like giving a lot of free service, that'd be one thing. But 7 days, it feels right. Giving people like a taste of it feels like the right thing to me.
Yeah.
So I guess I would just feel happy. I'm in that like kind of honeymoon phase where most people signing up are like probably fans of yours, or like know they want it, and just do other things.
Yep. This is cool. One of our customers is Mail Brew. One of the co-founders has been blogging quite a bit, and I think he's been like continuing to get on the front page of Hacker News, which is good, cool for him to. He's like unlocking kind of the strategy of like writing things that tend to get lift over there, which more power to him. Hacker News is such a challenging community at times, I think. But he did a post, a roundup of the SaaS tools that they use, and SavvyCal was one of them, and that made it to the front page yesterday. So yesterday was Sunday the 27th, and it was like sitting on the homepage for hours, and that drove. I think we're at like 60 free signups at this point, just from that post. Nice. Yeah, which is
when you say free signups, are those trials or something else?
No, not trials, just registrations for the product. And I think so far, 2 of those have started a trial.
So what is I guess I don't understand what the funnel looks like then.
Well, you sign up for free to SavvyCal. You create your account, basically authenticate your Google thing, and then you can play around with the product, but you don't have to start your trial right away. You start your trial as soon as you want to activate a link. So you can defer starting your trial. Yeah, it doesn't start automatically.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So
you can look around and see what's going, like kick the tires.
Yep.
And then
you'll start to receive lifecycle emails, and I'll kind of nurture and nudge you to start your trial and stuff. But that's nice. Good to see. Nice exposure. Definitely lower converting traffic, but kind of I feel like a foreshadow of what Product Hunt might be like. So.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's the best. I mean, that was so thrilling for us. Like when we started seeing people talking about us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you make good software, people like to talk about it, which is really nice.
Yeah.
That's still basically our marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm. Right. Just doing things that encourage word of mouth to occur. I mean, it's always dangerous to say that word of mouth is a strategy in and of itself, but the things that you do to cause word of mouth spreading to happen, that's a strategy, which,
Yep. And I don't think this is like the optimal thing we should be doing for what it's worth.
Really?
Well, I mean, I think it's a good component, but to me, like people talk about us and like our inbound is good enough is not like a impressive or optimal marketing approach. This is one on my list of things to think about and potentially prioritize for next year.
It's not like super like scalable and repeatable, right? It's like something that's kind of a bit outside of your control, I guess.
Yeah, exactly that. And then also to me, it's like it's leaving stuff on the table where it's like, well, if we were also doing more deliberate marketing on top of having a good product that's worth talking about, we could be doing a lot better. Cool. The word of mouth, it's starting.
Yeah, no, so that's really good to see. And
I was listening to Out of Beta, and Matt was saying something about you're in the mastermind with those guys.
Yes. Yep.
And he was like referring to you as like an MRR monster or something. Like you're You're winning the
T-Rex.
MRR growth rate or something.
Yeah, we now have a meme where we just we post our numbers in there periodically and just share gifs of T-Rexes. Because yeah, we're in a little friendly gentleman's race to a million. So
Okay.
no
I
big
see.
deal.
$1 million ARR.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Business. It's fun when it
Yeah.
works.
You have to make it fun. That's
You gotta make it
important.
fun.
It's important to make it fun.
Yeah.
Got to.
It's been really useful to me. So I started doing a little bit of like year-end reflection, and I was seeing like back in January, I think it was, I went to Big Snow Tiny Conf, and I was just kind of reminded of like, man, it's so much more fun to be working on this stuff when I have these like get together with other entrepreneur type things on my calendar and can talk about things that don't make sense to my normal friends and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't wait we've talked about those for a long time, and I haven't really done like the mini conferences thing, but I've been wanting to do those for a while now. And now it's like, I've got this product that's growing and it's got traction. It's like a little bit further on. I can't wait to do those once we're able to again.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm just excited to gather with like-minded people again. I've been fantasizing about like going back to MicroConf. Just like, it's so fun to show up and see all the friends and talk about catch up on everything and just talk shop incessantly.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Be around your fellow obsessives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's looking promising. 2021, I'm full on optimistic, I have to say. I think it's going to be an awesome year. It feels like there's a spring that's been being compressed for like, a year or so. And like, there's going to be these like, this release, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Pace of progress is good on turning things around. And I think, there's a lot of pent up demand for people to kind of, I think it's going to be a renewed appreciation for things that maybe we had lost appreciation for, like these gatherings, for example. And so,
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's good for now. I've got more things, but we will record later this week. So
Yes. So we'll do our year-end recap later, and it'll probably come out first week of January, I guess.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Notes of the show?
Notes of the show can be found at artofproductpodcast.com.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.